Good evening everyone, and welcome. At the moment it's just me here, and this round of the Formula World Championship, the 6th round from Brands Hatch in the UK. Now technically this race should be Barcelona, but it doesn't work on NR2003, so I chose to bring back the European Grand Prix, which they don't do anymore, and I chose Brands Hatch because I thought that'd be a nice one. Formula 1 hasn't raced there for a long time, probably not good facilities for it in real life, but here it is perfect. There's the table: Bottas top, Hamilton in second, Vettel and Leclerc third and fourth. So without further ado, let's go track side. Let's look at the qualifying. As you can see, Bottas is on pole, Vettel next to him, Leclerc in third, Hamilton fourth, and then we've got Verstappen and Latifi at the back. We've got Albon and Russell, so not too good for them. Let's go to the track, and we'll get the starter to get underway.
Drivers, start your engines!
You don't know, that's fair enough, Jockwin. Lucas, how are you this evening? So here we go for the start of this race. Brands Hatch European Grand Prix round 6, and we are off. We have a green and we start 50 laps at Brands Hatch. Not much overtaking goes on here. Let's see if we can change that today. Hello Mr. Brian, how are you this evening? So nice clean start from everyone so far. Bottas going straight into the lead, and it looks like that is Vettel behind him. Leclerc and Verstappen and Hamilton in 5th place. So technically where they all sort of qualified and started. As I go off the grass there just to make the angle on this side of the track. As you see, go to the back shortly. Once they go and do a lap, we'll see what's going on or what's occurring. It's not the largest of the tracks, very small. Petronas is in the lead. Yes, Mercedes, Bottas. He is in the lead. Mercedes are always in the lead at Formula 1. And here's the back of the grid. We've got Williams. We've got a Red Bull of Albon. Not doing well at all for Red Bull. There's Haas and Racing Point, or Racing Pink as I like to call them. All having a nice race down here. Very close racing. Haas Racing doing quite well. There's AlphaTauri, who used to be Toro Rosso. They are Red Bull's backup team. Every team in Formula 1, except for 3 I think it is, has a backup team now. I think it's McLaren, Williams, and I think that's it actually. I think there's 2 teams that only have backup. Oh, and Renault as well. Yeah, Renault. They don't have a backup. Or they don't have a lead team, basically. There's some lovely orange and black McLaren. That is Lando Norris, the Canadian. And we've got the Renaults of Ricciardo and Ocon. And we have that lovely Alfa Romeo of Giovinazzi, who's really done pretty well so far this season. I know he's not at the top or anything, but not too bad. There's the AlphaTauri of Gasly. There's another Haas car, Magnussen, Kevin Magnussen. There's a Williams of Latifi. Another McLaren, that is Carlos Sainz, down in 6th place. Just sort my chair out, excuse me. Who else have we got? And there is Hamilton in 5th place, struggling to get to that Verstappen car. There's Leclerc in that bleeding red Ferrari. And there's Vettel in front of him and Bottas in front of him. So far, so good. Bottas leading with a 1:2.805.8 fastest lap. There is the current table. So far, so good this season for Bottas. 5 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. He'll be very impressed with that. He wants to beat Hamilton. Vettel in 3rd, Leclerc in 4th, Verstappen in 5th. I do believe this will be a pit stop race, and I do believe it will be won from the pits. There's not much space to overtake on this track. A bit like, say, Watkins, GLEN a little bit. And I think that's why they took it off the calendar, actually, because of that. And obviously the facilities aren't as good as Silverstone. Silverstone is the A star in the UK. But we come to that halfway through the season. So this is meant to be the European Grand Prix. In real life we would be at Barcelona. But unfortunately Barcelona track did not work on NR2003. So I made do, brought back the European Grand Prix that they no longer have in Formula 1 and made it Brands Hatch. And you think Lewis will win Red and Chuck. Okay, interesting. He's in 5th at the moment, but again, he could get in front on pits. He doesn't seem to be catching, though. The time's not changing very much, but again, we have got 50 laps. Maybe on a strategy of 2 to 3 pit stops as well. That could change things. So Vettel brought that down by 10 milliseconds, 0.68 now. So Vettel is catching that Mercedes. That Mercedes is pretty quick, straight line speed. The Ferrari seems to have the upper hand on the turns. The Ferrari of Leclerc is 1.54 behind, so he seems to be losing pace on Vettel and Bottas. And Hamilton's 3.11, so even he's losing pace. But this Mercedes at the moment is probably the most fastest it's been all season, so it's getting stronger and stronger. I made a picture of Darren versus Todd, but I don't know how to show you. Oh, interesting. How would you show me? I don't know. I have to think about that. You could go to my website and send it, contact me on the website, on the contact page. I'll reply to you and then you can send it through to my email. That email address, I can't remember what email address I've got it set as. So rather than tell you and it be wrong, go to the website, go to the contact page. The website details are in the description of this video. Contact me, tell me, obviously let me know it's you. And then I'll reply and then you can send it over. It'd be awesome, thank you. Love to see that. So Bottas really hitting it now, but Vettel now 0.72. Not much going on there. Now we have a Red Bull at the back. That's Albon. This is shocking, really. Red Bull, one of the strongest teams, but Albon at the back, not doing very well. And there we have the Brit Russell on his home race, but second from last. There we have a Racing Pink of Lance Stroll down in 18th, or Racing Point. I do apologise. There's Grosjean in that Haas car. There we have Kimi Raikkonen down in 16th. Again, another driver not doing very well, but again, sometimes it can just be the car. The car is not up for it. There's Kvyat in 15th place in that AlphaTauri. And we've got Perez in the other Pink Racing Point car. And then obviously we got Lando Norris in that orange and black. McLaren in 13th. Ricciardo in 12th. 11th is Ocon in that yellow and black car. There's the other Alfa Romeo. We don't want to see the pit car, of course. There's the other Alfa Romeo, Giovinazzi. In front of him we got the Gasly, the AlphaTauri of Gasly in 9th place. Great, what I'll do is once after I've finished this stream, I'll go take a look. Thank you. It's just pinged up. So yeah, brilliant, thank you. So there's Gasly in 9th. There is Magnussen in 8th. Catching up there with that Williams of Latifi, the rocket car, in 7th. Doing very well, Williams, this season. There is the McLaren of Carlos Sainz in 6th. Another one doing pretty well. McLaren seem to be finding their feet back in Formula 1. Massive gap between Sainz and Hamilton though. As you can see, Hamilton's already coming to this second turn. Sainz is not even close to it, so there is a big gap emerging between the front boys and this back pack. And obviously that's Hamilton. There's Verstappen in 4th. There's Charles Leclerc running in 3rd place. And it looks like Vettel's lost pace again. He seems to lose pace every other lap, gains it back and then loses it again. Very, very interesting. Let's go on board with Bottas. Lovely racing there from Bottas, nice and smooth. Vettel brings it down to 1 millisecond, so nothing to shout about at the front here. As I said, this will be a pit stop race, I think. It won't be the most exciting of races, but Brands Hatch, I do love Brands Hatch. And it's not had Formula 1 there for many, many a year, so it's nice to bring it back and do my bit for Brands Hatch. Obviously it's not real, I know that, I'm not insane. But in my head at the moment it is real. So look at this. We've got these 3 cars at the front making a big gap between themselves and that Red Bull of Verstappen. So now we're getting another group. So we may have 3 or 4 groups on this track. As we go down the list, number 23 Albon still at the back. Very, very poor showing from him. And obviously Bottas still has the lead fastest lap. Very, very well done. An average of 102 miles an hour. There's not many straights here at Brands Hatch, unfortunately, but it's the way it is, I'm afraid. It's the way the cookie crumbles, they say. But I'm sure we'll have pit stops around lap 17, 18, I believe. But again, it depends what strategy each car and each team is on. Unfortunately, Red and Chuck, no. I did think about that, but it is not possible because there are different mods that I use. So there's one mod that I use for the current Piston Cup and the next gens, and the original Piston Cup cars and the new Veterans Cup that I'm starting is from another mod, the Cup mod. So it would be a little bit impossible to do that. So yeah, it's not something I could possibly do, unfortunately, but I would like to. It would be interesting if someone could build the original Piston Cup cars in the Gen 6 mod. That would be cool. Most of the modders that used to mod this game are no longer modding it now. They're either modding other games or playing iRacing now. I'm afraid it's such an old game, this, that most of them have all grown up and got families now. So there's Auburn struggling at the back in that Aston Martin Red Bull. There's a rocket of Williams. There's a Racing Pink. So there's not much going on at the moment, but I will suspect it'll be pit stops that will change all this. And it will make a huge, huge difference to the race. And there is another Williams, number 6. So here is, this is Carlos Sainz. Now he's in 6th place. Now you can see the gap between him, there you go, and Lewis Hamilton. Huge, huge gap. Literally over 4 seconds. So massive gap there. There's Hamilton. Now he's chasing down Verstappen. Getting rather close actually. So maybe we should watch these two and see if Lewis Hamilton can actually overtake that Aston Martin Red Bull. We do know that Mercedes is a lot quicker, so not sure why he's not done it yet, but there is a long way to go, so maybe he's saving himself. Last season it was Marcus that finished higher, and tomorrow I believe it's going to be Leadfoot. Yeah, and I think he'll actually win the race tomorrow. I'm sure he won Indy last season actually. I'm going to have to look at that and bring that up on the stats tomorrow. I'm sure he won it last year, so he'll probably be going into the favourite, of course, but you never know, Marcus may pull it out of the hat. Would be interesting. Leadfoot's been top all season, so would be quite an interesting one to Marcus pull it off at the end. But we'll wait and see, and then after that it's on to the next gen cars, which is not this week but the following week. So that will be interesting. Jackson Storm and Co will We'll be having fun on the NASCAR tracks, I'm sure. So Bottas still at the front, and he's extended that gap to 0.88 now. So doing extremely well. We're on lap 14 of 50. We're here at Brands Hatch for round 6 of the Formula 1 World Championship. And we are hoping to get some pit stops soon. That will definitely change the course of this race, I'm sure. Depending on who gets in and out first. And I'm sure these boys up the front will be very, very fast in the pit stops, as Verstappen and Hamilton losing pace to these guys at the front. Looks like we're having our first round of pits for the Mercedes. The Ferrari continues on, and so does the Red Bull, and so does Lewis Hamilton as well. So both Ferrari and Red Bull and the Mercedes car continue, with the leader going in to the pits. Interesting, very interesting, as they have two sets of pit stops here. They can go in at the same time, not like real life where they have to go in one at a time. But this is interesting now, because them boys have got to get round pretty quick, and so as Bottas as he gets out. Lovely driving. Oh wow, that was awesome. That was like real life. Over the grass, it's got to be done. Bottas back out in this race. So here we are with the current leaders that have all continued on round, which is quite a lot of cars, to be honest. And here's the Ferraris of Vettel and Leclerc. Will they go in on this lap, as Bottas is now out? Do Ferrari have the better pit stop team? We will most likely find out very, very soon, as we will be watching to see when that Mercedes flies round. Does he have enough in him to get up towards this pit stop, this pit lane, and catch these Ferraris? As only one Ferrari, Vettel's going in. Vettel goes in, Leclerc continues. This is interesting. And Verstappen and Hamilton all continue on. So now we are seeing a huge difference. Yeah, I did think of doing a World Grand Prix season, actually. Sorry, stop my commentary there. I just read that. I was like, what? So we're seeing a huge difference here. We are seeing Ferrari going separately from Leclerc. Now we are looking to see if that Mercedes comes round, and I'm sure that's it there. Wow. Yes, it is. Wow, what a drive from Bottas. Absolutely epic. Vettel goes out, so now we are looking for the other cars. So Red Bull not going in yet. Then we have Leclerc here. Will he go in next? And there is Verstappen. And obviously Lewis Hamilton. Now will these boys go in on this lap? Which is going to completely change the course of this race now. Because Bottas has got in front of Vettel, which is surprising. Vettel got out quicker than what Vettel could... than Bottas could get around this track. Now we'll see Leclerc go in, I'm sure. And he continues. He continues on. I'm shocked. And so does Hamilton. Wow. Very, very interesting. So let's go catch up with the leader. So here we are. We've got Vettel and Bottas fighting it out for first place officially. But Leclerc and Hamilton are currently first. Because they have not pitted yet. Surprisingly, they have not pitted yet. So, in layman's terms, Bottas is down in 10th. And Leclerc is first. Vettel is in 7th. But he is hot on that tail. And it could touch him and could end his race if he does. Oh, that was pretty hectic. But we will see Leclerc... and Hamilton go in the pits, but I'm going to watch these two fight it out at the moment because technically they are the leaders. When they go back round and over the start finish line, things will change in that leaderboard. Vettel struggling to keep that Mercedes off his bum. Can he do enough to keep that Mercedes at bay? Mercedes of Bottas has slowed down a little bit there as they come over the peak. Around this turn here, the mission win now car is literally on a mission. Lap 17 of 50. That is Albon behind. That is not Verstappen. As they come round, I'm sure the boys will now be pitting. Hamilton and Leclerc have done an extra 3 laps compared to these two cars. So absolutely shocked to see that they're still out, which means they have an advantage now. They need to get out pretty quick before them cars come in. So here they are. They are in the pits. Let's move this to this view, and we should see Vettel, and here they come. Vettel and Bottas flying down. Leclerc gets out. Hamilton gets out. Wow, that was epic. There is Hamilton on. And there is Bottas and Vettel. And there is Leclerc now leading this race officially. He's come out of the pits just in time. That was epic. Well done. Bottas leading this race right up until the pit stops. He went in too early. He's now got 2 cars, 2 Ferraris to chase down. And good thing for Hamilton. He's now overtaken Verstappen in the pits and got pole. Is that Verstappen? Yes, it is. He's now in 6th place. Unfortunately, he's lost a place. But here we go for the top 3 here, fighting it out for first place. Are them Ferraris quick enough to keep this Mercedes at bay? Because he is all over them like flies over toilet. It's absolutely crazy stuff going on here. Absolutely crazy. And it looks like Vettel's gone wide. He went too wide there. Now he's fighting off a surge from Bottas, who goes for Leclerc as well. They touch here. They could end both them. Oh, what a defence from Leclerc. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Or is it? Is it going to be enough around this corner now? He needs to defend that Mercedes. Not worry about that Ferrari as Bottas pushes his way in and goes down the straight. Look at that Mercedes fly. Hi, Guy. How are you? Look at this. That Mercedes is quick. Very quick. And he gets the inside lane. He pushes both Ferraris out. And they nearly touched. They nearly touched. That was touching cloth. I'm sure he smelt his aftershave. He got that close. But look, now we have Bottas back in the lead on lap 19. It didn't take him long to get that back, did it? But now we have Leclerc in second, Vettel in third. Will that change now as Bottas flies off, trying to make a gap between himself and that Ferrari. I honestly thought them two were going to touch then. I really, really did. Let's go on board with Vettel. So it looks like Vettel not catching up with Leclerc. He was, but there is a gap coming between them. And for the next gen cars, I've already got their names. If you go online, you can actually find their names for the next gen cars. I can't remember. I think it's Wiki, Piston Cup Wiki or something. And all the names are there for the unnamed ones. I've got 36 cars, including Lightning McQueen in the next gens. But I'm taking Lightning McQueen out because he officially retires, and obviously Cruz Ramirez takes over, so there is no Rusty's car in the next gens. So what we do know from this race is that the Ferraris have quicker pit stop guys than the Mercedes, and here we are at the back with Russell, the Brit, on his home debut race, not doing very well. There's the racing point of Lance Stroll, another Brit, I believe, and there is Auburn in that Red Bull, finally moved up to 18th. That was probably more than likely due to pit stops though. And there, of course, is the Haas car of Grosjean. Then we have that Alfa Romeo of Kimi Raikkonen, now still stuck in 16th place as all the cars fly down that hill there, trying to find some space to overtake AlphaTauri of Kvyat. There's Ocon in that Renault, so he has lost space to that Daniel Ricciardo car of that Renault there. As you can see, he's now in 11th, so he's moved up pretty well there from him. There is Lando Norris, the Canadian, in 10th place. There's Alfa Romeo's Giovinazzi, who I've already said has had a fantastic season. Not the best, but you know, better than it could be, especially in that Alfa Romeo. There's the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. And then we have Latifi in front of him in that Rocket Williams car. And then we have Carlos Sainz still in 6th in that McLaren, all on his own. Must be getting very lonely. I wonder what music he's got on in his headphones, if he's got any on at all. And there is Lewis Hamilton down in 5th. So he's lost places to Max Verstappen. Verstappen did come out behind him in the pit stops, but it looks like Verstappen overtook him and got that 4th spot back. So well done to Verstappen there, getting that back from Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton not having a very good race in the UK today. And then back to the front with the good old Ferraris of Vettel, Leclerc and the Mercedes of Bottas, who are all fighting out for first place, so far ahead of that Red Bull that they've not really got to worry about it. So we had pit stops around lap 17. I would say they're probably going to be around lap 35, 36, do you think? I think what I'll do, Red and Chuck, I think I'll start maybe painting up the World Grand Prix cars. Problem with the World Grand Prix, Piston Cup World Grand Prix, or Disney Cars World Grand Prix, is that there's only 10 cars in it. So I may have to come up with some other names maybe and just make them up, just to make it a bit more interesting. Because 10 cars going around Daytona would not excite me, that's for sure. 4 people watching, yes. 6 people now. I'm on a roll, David. I'm on a roll. This is amazing stuff here. You can't miss it. Hello, David. How are you? Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So Bottas still in the lead here. Leclerc in second now. Vettel was second. Leclerc was first. So thank you very much, David. Thank you. Very kind words. So I'm not sure we will have more pits, but we will have pits. But I'm not sure if Mercedes will change a few things maybe, because they left Hamilton out for a long time before he went in, but he did come out in front of Verstappen, but again he has lost that space. Verstappen did take it, we didn't see it unfortunately, but we will see what happens. Oh really, I didn't know that. I thought there was only actually 35 next gens. I thought that was why. I didn't know they had to release 3 more. Hello Bowler, how are you? Don't worry. Better late than never, that's what I say. Not much has happened, the pit stops were good. Bottas was in the lead for a long time. He's still in the lead, but he lost the lead in the pit stops by like a couple of seconds. So that was pretty cool. But he has gained it back. No cautions yet, which is good. So yeah, again, not much overtaking at Brands Hatch. It does go down to pit stops, but these Ferraris are not giving up on that. I was going to say Red Bull then, and not on that Mercedes. But we do know that Mercedes is so much quicker, as we saw down that front straight when he took back the lead. He literally flew past them like a rocket ship, leaving the other two like horses, which technically they are because they're Ferrari, the prancing horse. So you know what I mean. Anyway, yeah. So not much has happened. Not much is going on at the back really. We've got Lance Stroll in 19th, Russell behind him in that Williams. There's another Red Bull, sadly not doing very well. There is that Grosjean car. Sorry, there's that Haas car with Grosjean in. They also need to release Jim and JP. I didn't know that. There's Kvyat in 15th, Raikkonen behind him. Ocon in 14th place. There is Gasly in that AlphaTauri car running in 13th. There we have Sergio Perez in the Racing Point car in 12th place. There is Daniel Ricciardo in 11th, not moved from that 11th place since the pits, but he was down very low at the start. There's Lando Norris in that McLaren. And then, of course, we have Giovinazzi in 9th place, doing well for Alfa Romeo, getting the points for Alfa Romeo. Kimi Räikkönen letting them down, and we have a bit of a fight on our hands for 8th and 7th place between Kevin Magnussen. I think that's Latifi. It is Latifi, looking very strong, that Haas car, but backed off so far. What will happen down this front straight? Will anything change? Will that Haas car use that slipstream to its advantage or not? Doesn't look like it, but it is getting closer. I know Albon's not doing well at all in the table, though. Where is he in the table? He's well, he's right the way down, isn't he? Not doing very well. He's under Ricardo. So for a Red Bull driver, that's not good. The only Red Bull driver at the top was Verstappen, who's down in 5th place. So yeah, and the usual Red Bulls and Mercedes at the front. So looks like this Haas car has backed off a little bit. Not too concerned about missing anything here. As we go ahead, there is Carlos Sainz. Now Carlos Sainz is all out on his own at the moment. He's been all out on his own for quite a while. I think he's quite happy with that. The dark track McLaren car, very nice indeed. And there we have obviously Lewis Hamilton struggling today in 5th place. Not won the last 2 races, so losing form. Probably the most important part of the season, really. The start, get as many points as you can. The first 8 rounds, they say, is the most important. But so far, not good enough today at Brands Hatch for the European Grand Prix. Not seeming to really be pushing it. There's Verstappen, who came out behind Hamilton from the pit stops, but actually overtook him. But unfortunately, we didn't see it, so unlucky for all of us, really. So I'd love to see Hamilton get overtaken, because it's a very rare occurrence in Formula 1. There goes the table. You don't want to see that anymore. So we're back to the front of the grid, where we have the prancing horses and the Silver Arrow fighting out for first place. And the distance has closed between them on the timings, but again, not much happening. But again, as I said, this is a pit stop race. I can imagine it will be one from pit stops. And at the moment, as we just seen, Ferrari have the quickest pit stops. And now we've got another set of pit stops, as it looks like, well, that was Leclerc that carried on into the pits. So Bottas goes in. We're having another set of pits just after the first pit stop was like 10 laps ago. Very strange, very strange. So in the pits we go. We don't want that one, we want that one. That one to do, that's better. So when will Bottas come out? Leclerc now takes the lead. Verstappen in 2nd. Hamilton in 3rd place. As Bottas gets out quicker than that Ferrari. What a great pit stop from Bottas there, and the Mercedes team getting out before Ferrari. But now the worrying thing is we need to catch up with these boys, because will they now go in the pits, as Leclerc has a huge gap on Verstappen of 5.66 seconds. He's probably been told that Bottas got out before his teammate Vettel. So will they send him on a little rat run again like they did last time, where he did an extra 3 laps to everybody else, including his teammate? So here we go then. Will he go in the pits as Vettel works his way back? Nope, he continues on into the lead. Will these boys go in? No, neither of them. They are both continuing on as Leclerc carries on around the track, leading at the moment on lap 29. I don't think people like watching Formula 1 very much, because I get quite a few viewers on the Piston Cup races, I get average viewers on the Nations Cup races, and I get hardly any viewers on the Formula 1, which I thought would be very popular, considering it's on Sundays and It's completely been cancelled. From what I've heard, they're going to completely cancel the whole season. So I am shocked. I thought it would have been a bit more popular, but maybe not. Maybe I'm not tagging it right in the description. I don't know. Who knows? But you guys are here, and that's all that counts for now, anyway. Until you get bored of me chatting away about rubbish. So will Leclerc go in on this lap? Slowing up. Nope, he's not. He continues on. He continues on. Wow, Bottas down in 7th now because of the pit stops, of course. But Verstappen in 2nd. Will he go in? Nope. Him and Hamilton both stay out, and Leclerc. So they are on a different strategy to their teammates by the looks of things. And it looks like we're going to have a lot of pit stops because they went in the pits on lap 17. I'm sure it was lap 17. They just got in the pits again around, what was that, 27 Vettel went in. So, you know, they're literally lapping every 10 laps, which is a crazy amount. Very crazy amount, but not too sure what that's about because it's only on a 2 times. All good rubbish, all good. Yeah, it's all good. I don't think they'll cancel the whole season. They would lose a lot of money. Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I just heard it on the grapevines this morning. I just heard they were considering it. Who was it who said it? I think it was David Coulthard, I think. Said something like that. But again, how would he know? He's not, you know, he's not the top dog. I just think they'll have to go through the winter. That's all. They just have to go through the winter. And maybe use this year's cars next year. Simple as that. Rather than change cars every year, they just have to change. They just have to keep this car for now. As Leclerc continues around this track. What is that car got as the Red Bull now goes in? Hamilton continues as a Haas car. So there is Bottas. Sorry, there's Hamilton in 2nd, continuing on. There's Leclerc. This will be his 4th lap around without pitting. Quite worried that he's going to run out of fuel very, very soon. But let's hope not. Let's hope they don't cancel the Formula 1 season. Let's hope they don't cancel the NASCAR season. Because again, they have a lot more races than Formula 1. So that's a lot of money in both sports. There's a lot of money in all motorsports. So it's going to be a devastating year for a lot of sport and a lot of businesses. And I think you're going to see a lot of things go under, bankrupt, etc. It's just not a good time. 2020 has been the worst year of my life, I've got to say. I'm not saying I'm miserable or anything, I'm quite happy. But, you know, can't go out anywhere, businesses are closing down, can't go on holiday. It's quite a bad year to be living, isn't it? If you think about it. You just got to try and see the positives of all this, that we're surviving. So will he go in this lap? I'll be shocked if he doesn't. He's made a huge gap between him and Bottas, though. Huge gap. Bottas down in 6th place now. As he finally goes in. Well done. Good thinking, that man. Get in the pits before you run out of fuel. Because that's something you don't want to run out of. And there he comes in. We'll watch this as Hamilton comes in as well now. So now we're going to be looking for, obviously, Bottas flying around that turn to the entrance of the pit stops and getting in front of this Ferrari of Leclerc. He didn't manage to do it last time. Leclerc got out just in time. But will he be able to do it this time? I think he's coming down the hill now. He's coming around the corner. As he comes round, Leclerc goes. There is Bottas and there is Vettel. Look at that for timing. Wow. That was extremely epic. Obviously the table needs to update itself with the fact that Bottas and Vettel are now in second and third, sorry. But wow, that was pretty quick from the Ferrari. Now, can he keep that Mercedes off? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That Bottas is always... Oh, look, he's so quick. But he gets so close. He gets so close. Let's go on board. Wow, that was pretty easy. That was pretty easy down that straight. No issues there at all from that Mercedes. Leclerc didn't even lead in front of him for that long. Unfortunately, that Mercedes is just too fast for the Ferrari. So it looks like, I believe, we may have a Mercedes win today by the looks of things. They're looking very strong. Very, very strong indeed. We have the two Ferraris now racing it out. Vettel and Leclerc. Leclerc could lose his second place here, which he's had most of the race. It looks like he's going to. Vettel takes it. Leclerc concedes. Not well done, Leclerc. Definitely not. He's now down into third, so really bad from him. Losing a lot of pace in that car. Maybe doing something wrong in the pits. Not too sure, but Hamilton's behind now. Verstappen is chasing him down again to get his fourth place back that he wants so badly. But can Hamilton hold him off? We know how fast that Mercedes is, but it seems that Red Bull's got a bit of pace in it today. Looks like Hamilton's doing a lot better this time and keeping him at bay, but it won't be for long because that Red Bull seems to handle very, very well in the corners. So he's got the straight line speed, as we know. We've just seen that with Bottas. Similar cars, different setups, but they'll now come down to the front straight. Will this be Verstappen's chance to overtake that silver arrow? Bit of a gap there, maybe not enough for him to get past that Mercedes, and I just don't think he's got it in him this time round, but I think next time round we'll see that Red Bull in front of that Mercedes. So he's keeping him at bay at the moment, Hamilton, but seems to get to this part of the track, and the more corners that arrive, the slower that car, well, the worse of that car handles, to be fair. But it will be time to tell if Verstappen can actually overtake him. I think he's going to. And so there's the Ferraris chasing down Bottas in the distance. No chance of catching that silver arrow, that's for sure. Lap 34 going to lap 35, and it looks like the silver arrow of Hamilton has given himself a bit of a gap on this lap. 6:42, 9:42, 9:72. Okay, so he has made a little bit of a difference. Only a few seconds, milliseconds, nothing to shout about from the rooftops, but that is progress, as they call it. So the other silver arrow way ahead now, 1.55 ahead of Vettel. Going back to these two quickly, we don't want to miss an overtake. Say that though, Hamilton has given himself a bit of a bigger gap now. So maybe, just maybe, he's found his rhythm. And he's not going to let that Mercedes pass. Sorry, Mercedes, that Red Bull passed. With the Honda engine this year. There's the Patronus of Lewis Hamilton, if you're just joining us. He is in 4th place, no podium for him today, that's for sure. Unless something bad happens at the front, of course, which it could do. We know it's happened before. Will it happen here in the UK? for the European Grand Prix. There's Ferraris, as you can see again. So that distance between them and this back two or behind two is not getting any smaller. Will this gap get bigger though? It looks like Hamilton spread himself out a lot more, giving himself an extra bit of room. Yes, he has. He certainly has. He's really getting that gap bigger. And we have the two Ferraris here chasing down that silver arrow of Bottas. Then we go to the back of the grid. We have George Russell in 20th place, just coming to start his next lap. There's Albon down in 19th. Not good from him. Then we have Racing Points, or Racing Pinks, Lance Stroll. We have Ocon down in 17th in that Renault, the yellow and black Renault, I should say. Renault, yellow Renault, bit confusing. Grosjean in 16th in the Haas car. There's AlphaTauri in that used to be Toro Rosso car. There's Kimi Raikkonen now up to 14th place, so he's moved a couple of places. He's gained some time and doing a little bit better than what he was. And then we go to the next AlphaTauri of Kayat, who is down in 13th place. Then we have back to a Haas car of Kevin Magnussen running in 12th. Then we go back to the other Renault of Ricciardo, who's in 11th place. And we have Racing Point Sergio Perez. Lando Norris is now in 9th place, so he's gained a lot of positions. Lando, well done. There's 8th of Latifi in that Williams rocket car. Doing well for Williams. Unfortunately, his partner isn't. There's Giovinazzi now in 7th place. This could be his best finish of the season. Very well done from him. But I think that Williams is sort of catching a little bit. And then we have the McLaren of yes, it's yellow. Yes, we have the McLaren of Carlos Sainz. He's been in 6th the whole race, and he's been on his own for most of it. And starting to feel a bit sorry for him, a bit lonely. He may join a dating app after this race because he's been so lonely. Who knows? There's Verstappen still in 5th, chasing down that silver arrow of Lewis Hamilton. Doesn't seem to be making any progress though, unfortunately. Not much has happened at the back. It's so hot here in the UK at the moment. Absolutely sweating. It's about 80 again today. It was just really humid. Really humid. But they say it's going to rain all week. So maybe it'll be stormy. Calm before the storm, as they say. There's Hamilton in that silver arrow. And it looks like we have another pit stop. Vettel going in on lap 37. So we're having pit stops every 10 laps, guys. Can you believe that? Wow. And I guess well, the next pit stop will be 47, or will they give themselves enough to go to 50? Incredible. Did not see that happening at all. Bottas hasn't gone in though, which is surprising. There's Hamilton. There's Bottas. Vettel usually goes in after Bottas, or goes in with him. So Bottas has stayed out a little bit longer this time. Perhaps they're changing their tactics, maybe. Maybe Ferrari have changed their tactics, or maybe he just had issues with that car and he needed to go in. We'll soon find out if he's going to go in now. And will Leclerc follow him, or will he continue on like he has done every pit stop Bottas has gone in? And Bottas continues on. So very odd for Vettel to go in so early. So not sure what that was about. Or perhaps the Mercedes car has decided to stick with the Ferrari plan of going in at the same time as Leclerc now, because he knows Leclerc is so close. As always, we do our own point system for this Formula 1 Championship, the real point system. So points get updated on the website this evening, and that's where you can see the table, and then it'll be live next week on the live stream. So yes, we don't show you the table at the end of the race because we have to sort out all the points, and then I upload it to the website. Bottas doing extremely well this season. Put money on him to win this championship this year. He has been at the front a lot of races. Let's just say that, a lot of races. And going to see if Bottas goes in now. No, he doesn't. He continues on, as does that Ferrari. So perhaps there was no third pit stop. It was just a Ferrari going in, who's now dropped down to 8th place. No one else has pitted, so not sure what happened to Vettel there. Very, very, very unfortunate. Maybe a car issue. I'm using this mod. Yeah, I just painted all the cars myself. Changed a lot of the graphics. And yeah, just using this mod. Different engine sound, different F1 engine sound that you can get. So that's all really. Just sort of changed the logos and things. 20 cars in the A1 Grand Prix. Not all the original A1 Grand Prix teams are in it. I've added a few new ones, taken some of the original real ones out. So yeah, it should be interesting. That'll be on Monday nights every week. Following the Formula 1 on the Sunday, so be good. So here they go down towards the straight. I'm sure Leclerc's catching that silver arrow. As Bottas finally goes in, Leclerc goes on. 10 laps remaining, guys. 10 laps remaining, and Bottas goes into the pits. As Hamilton goes on, Verstappen goes on. Wow, now we will see who is going to win at this race, because this now changes things completely. There is that Mercedes getting tyres changed for the rest of this race. 9 laps at the moment. No one coming past him just yet. And someone coming past now. So he gets out very, very nicely. So it's now Leclerc running this race up front. 7 seconds, nearly 8 seconds in front of that Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Now will Leclerc go in now, or will he give himself a bit of extra room to buffer himself against that Bottas car? So Leclerc continues on into lap 42. He's going to have to pit at some stage, that's for sure. Or unless he's got enough to carry on. Which I'll be surprised, but maybe he's on a different strategy. 3 pit stops this race for Bottas and Vettel. So be interesting to see if this guy does a third, or will he stay out because he doesn't need to. So there's Vettel and Bottas fighting it out. Bottas in 4th, Vettel in 5th, and Vettel getting rather close to that Mercedes. Very, very, very close. And we go forward. There is Leclerc up in first. Now he has got a huge gap between himself and that car of Hamilton and Verstappen, but they have gone in the pits, of course. But now we'll go around and see if he goes in this lap. I'm sure he will. He must do. He can't honestly going to stay out the whole 8 laps, surely. No, there you go. So he goes in on 42, lap 42. Now we are looking to see if Bottas and Vettel come flying around. Which I'm sure they're a lot closer than what we know. That's for sure. So here we go then. Leclerc goes in. We're looking at the top of that hill on your left of your screen near the Tag Heuer. They come down, or Tag Heuer. They come down there. Where are they going to come? There they come. That is Bottas and Vettel coming around the corner. Leclerc gets out very, very quick. What a pit stop from Ferrari there. Absolutely brilliant. Now getting in front of Bottas and that Mercedes of Vettel. He's given himself a huge buffer to finish this race at the front. 43 laps, guys. 43 laps, 7 to go. Can this boy keep this first place for Ferrari? Sad to say it, but that Bottas and Mercedes are catching that Ferrari very, very quickly already. I'll be intrigued to see the timings when they go over the start-finish line. Hamilton in 4th, Verstappen in 5th, of course. As they come down, you can see how close that Mercedes is already. Shockingly quick, that car. What's it got on it? Nitrous oxide or something? Absolutely incredible. And I think Bottas is going to overtake this Leclerc on this lap, you know. Look. We're coming to the straight. Back down the start-finish line. Bottas catching extremely quick. Oh, I thought he was going to make a move then. No, he didn't. He decided not to. When will he make a move? Look how close he is to that Ferrari. That is incredible as they come around the top horseshoe part of the track. Oh, it's touchy. I thought he was touched in then. Oh, bit of sliding around from the Mercedes car there. Losing a little bit of grip, maybe pushing it too much around that bend. You don't need to push that hard. You have got 6 laps to go. You're close enough as it is. Back off a little bit maybe. Give yourself a chance to regroup and take him on the start-finish line. Don't try and take him on a turn. Look, he's going wide. That Mercedes is, I think he's putting too much pressure on himself to get past that Ferrari. But as we come towards the start-finish line again. Oh, he went wide. Oh, and now he's going inside. That lost him time. That lost him a lot of time. But now he will catch up with that Ferrari very, very quickly. And I'm sure he'll overtake him on the start-finish line as they go round towards that straight. Leclerc speeds off. Can Bottas catch him? Seems to have slowed down a little bit on this lap due to that mistake of pushing too hard, which we said not to. So he did push hard and it has cost him time dearly. So on lap 45.5 to go here at Brands Hatch for the European Grand Prix. And Bottas is hunting that Ferrari down like a fox hunt. Absolutely amazing scenes here, because we know that Mercedes can catch that Ferrari, but he really pushed too hard last time round and it sort of backed him off a little bit, because now he's losing a lot of time to that Ferrari as Vettel is now sandwiching that Mercedes in between him and his teammate Leclerc. If Vettel can put pressure on that Bottas, then that will give Leclerc a little bit of breathing space to get this win that he so deserves, because he has been the finest racer on this track today. Definitely, I think, anyway. As they come round towards the start-finish line again. Will Bottas have it in this time? Will he have enough? I don't think he's got enough space to catch up with him now. He's too far behind. That Ferrari is pushing on. And looks like Bottas does not have anything left in that car. Absolutely weird. He had it all and then backed off, and he's completely backed off. You've got to remember that Leclerc went in the pits, what, 2-3 laps after Bottas? So technically, Bottas has got to be a bit more careful with his tyres. And Leclerc is on fresh tyres, so that's probably why he's got the speed now. And as Bottas was pushing it on that lap, he could have used up a lot of that tread on them tyres, and it's now put him behind a little bit, because we're going to go towards lap 47. It's going to give himself 3 laps to get past that prancing horse, and I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think it will be a hashtag well done Leclerc bowler. What do you think? So lap 47 begins, and that Ferrari is making a bigger gap between him and that Mercedes behind. I think he is looking forward to getting that checkered flag. He's obviously got visions of it. That Mercedes has now had to back off a lot, so I'm guessing his tyres are wearing out already, and I do think it was because he was pushing it so hard. As they come down this downhill straight towards the turn under the Mobile 1 advertisement. The end is near, chaps. The end is near. Not much excitement today, but a little bit, and it's been obviously pit stops again, which are most Formula 1 races are go down to pit stops. Very rare we have any good racing these days, but it's not been a bad one. It's not been a bad one. And then next week we are off to the worst overtaking track ever, Monaco. So that will be interesting. The only place you can overtake someone there is under the bridge, through the tunnel. So, or the straight, I suppose, but it's a bit dodgy to overtake there. 48 laps of 50. We have 2 to go. 2 to go. Leclerc leading this race with ease now. Bottas not showing any initiative to catch up with him. And there's Hamilton, who's way ahead of Verstappen now. And there we have, which is strange, we have Giovinazzi in 6th place, who's actually taken over from Sainz, who's in 6th the whole race. Will we see an Alfa Romeo in 6th place at the end of this race? Let's hope so. As Leclerc comes down, we can't really leave the leaders now at this point of the stage. Would like to see that race between Sainz and Giovinazzi, but I just think it's getting rather near the end, so it could be risky. But again, you can see there's not much there. Sainz, I don't think is going to catch him, but he could do. He may do. I just very much doubt it as they go towards the start-finish line. To start lap 49, going towards that white flag on the next lap, which I'm sure he'll be happy to see when it comes. So we start lap 49, and that guy is still standing by the side of the road. He is a crazy damn fool. Look at the gap now between that Ferrari and that Mercedes. That was all to do with that pit stop and defending that position really well. Really messed up Bottas's plan. If he had got past Leclerc at that time, he would have been way away, but he didn't, and it's messed his plans up, giving Leclerc this excess distance between both of them, giving him the chance to go on to win this race without any accidents or mistakes. Now he's more than likely going to win. Lap 49, we're going towards the white flag now. Vettel very, very far behind, not even going to catch up with Bottas. So it looks like he's going to get a third place on the podium, with a second place podium for Bottas and Mercedes. And then obviously the number one guy will be Leclerc on the top with the biggest bottle of champagne you can find. So here we go, start of the final lap. White flag is out. Yay! Timmy the flag man's got a flag. He's got really skinny legs. He needs to go and get help. I told him to eat, but he just never listens. Anyway, we have restarted this race, and there's the back boys. We didn't want to go that way. I went the wrong way. Just want to see what's going on with these two here, but not much. Well done. I can't read all that. Leclerc and Leadfoot wins the Piston Cup. I like it. You reckon he's going to win it? I reckon he's going to win it. So back to the front then, where we're going to see a Ferrari win the European Grand Prix, and a very, very happy Leclerc, Charles Leclerc, winning at Brands Hatch. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the Barcelona track to work. Hashtag well done flagman. But hashtag eat something because you're too skinny. But yes, we couldn't get Barcelona to work, so unfortunately I chose to use Brands Hatch instead and make it a European Grand Prix. And next week we are off to the richest part of the world, Monaco, where we're going to lap it up with on the beach and drink cocktails and sing songs into the early hours of the morning. Because today, Ferrari and Leclerc win the European Grand Prix. Hashtag Leclerc. Hashtag well done. What a win from Leclerc. Didn't have most of the laps, but had the right to laps. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Bowler. Thank you, Red and Chuck. Thank you, Bowler. And thank you, the guy. And anyone else I've missed? Have I missed anyone? Thank you, David. And thank you, Joquin, as well. So brilliant. What a race. Very, very happy with that race now complete. I'm British and I know nothing about Formula 1 except from Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, well, Lewis Hamilton. Everyone knows Lewis Hamilton. That's another story for another day. Charles Leclerc wins. Bottas second. Vettel gets the third podium spot. Lewis Hamilton in fourth. Worst finish of the season for him. Ocon comes last. Albon in last place. Sean Laguerre. Sean Laguerre. I like it. So that is the end of the race, guys. Points will be updated on the website as soon as possible this evening. And then obviously you'll see them live on the live stream next week at Monaco, which will be a very, very nice fine and dining experience there. And they now come in to the pitch. I'm sure someone just hit something then. So I heard a bang. Maybe not. So it will be a Ferrari, Mercedes, Ferrari podium today. See you tomorrow. No problem. Have a good evening, Brian. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching the stream tonight. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, as you always know. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers, and there will be a surprise prize win for someone. Have a good evening or a good afternoon wherever you are. Take care. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and definitely stay safe. Take care, guys.